Hey there, Soul Shine. It's Michelle, and I'm inviting you to wake up and shine. I've been feeling like my intro was off a little bit, and I have kids waving at me right now. My kids are outside eating a picnic pretty late because it's like pretty late. Anyway, they're eating a picnic at the park, and anyway, I was thinking about my intro and something felt off, and I've been thinking about it. What would I need to change to make it perfect? And the thought came to me is I need to say shine. So wake up and shine. I am inviting you to wake up and shine. Today, oh, excuse me, I breathed wrong. Today is Wednesday. And because it's Wednesday and I have a new plan for the channel, it is Wake Up Wednesday. So we're going to talk about waking up. Now, if you watched my video, well, not my video, but the video I shared on my channel a few weeks ago by Stuart Carter, I can't remember what he's changed his channel name to, but it's changed. And it's, but Stuart Carter made a video for me to post on my channel, and it was incredible. And he talked about what it means to him to wake up. And he talks about how it's in a dreamlike state, and then we become aware of things and we start to wake up. I totally agree with his philosophies on it, what his concept is. We do kind of go through a dreamlike state through life, and then we learn things, and as we learn things, we realize things aren't necessarily the way we thought they were. One of the things that I want to talk about today that's not necessarily the way we thought they are is the concept of blame and accountability. So here's one of the challenges with accountability. It seems to go two ways when you figure out that, or when you hear that you're accountable for everything that happens in your life. Like that you create your reality and that your vibrations create your reality. There, you can either go, no way, it's not true, it's not possible, or some variance of that. Or you do what I did and you think everything under the sun is your fault, and you become super guilty and super just burdened with it. Now, don't do that. But let's talk about what being accountable is. Okay, so say you are in a situation, we'll even talk about one that happened to me. Okay, my father molested me when I was a little girl. And with some of the concepts out there, it seems like I created that. I'm not going to go there today whether or not I created it, but there is a level of accountability in how I respond to it. Now, that does not mean that my dad is off the hook for what he did. That's one of the challenges with talking about accountability. We think, oh my gosh, I'm responsible for everything I created, and then we stop. Okay, I want to stop and make sure I'm wording this the way I want to word it. I guess there's three ways or more that you can look at the situation. One, you can look at it like everything about it is your fault, that you made him that way, which is wrong. That's like a silly way to look at it, right? Like, you did not make his choices for him. You made your own choices. So what you did was choose how you responded to what happened. And when you're really little, like I was, I'm feeling, okay, hold on. Feeling very uncomfortable. Okay, I had to roll up one of the windows here because I'm feeling really uncomfortable because the people next to me are taking forever to get in their car, and it's really distracting me. And that, I feel like that's part of why I'm so scattered in my thoughts. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to listen. So, because I feel like this is totally unclear. So how can I be clear, and what can I say to express what I want to talk about? Okay, my dad made choices. My dad is accountable for his choices. I made choices. Now, as a little girl, my choices were just a response. As I got older and I learned things, I could choose more choices. I could choose to forgive him, and I've chosen that because I don't want that weighing me down. Okay, so that's one part of this accountability thing in waking up is recognizing I made some choices. As an adult, I choose to feel differently about it and go back and forgive and change my choices. And obviously it doesn't change the past. The past still happened, but how I feel about it now. Because I can look at the past and I can feel horrible about it, and I can blame about it, and I can be awful about it, or I can choose to forgive and move forward in my life with a lighter heart. And I choose to have a lighter heart. I don't like feeling heavy. We'll just let them go by. Give me a second to pause again, huh? Okay, so let's say it's not so traumatic. Just a second. Hey, bud. Is it empty?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. I just figured that way you can play without worrying about it.
Getting stolen?
Yeah, or losing it or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, love ya. Maybe a second. I'm having them bring their water bottles and put in the car when they're done eating. So excuse all the interruptions. So let's take a situation that's not from the past. Let's take driving. Driving seems to be where a lot of blame happens. A driver cuts you off on the road. While you're driving down the road, they cut right in front of you. And you have choices here. And that's what being accountable is about. It's about your choices. So you can get really ticked off, and you can cuss at them and be angry if you choose to. That's your choice. If you choose to be that way, you can be that way. Or you can realize that it's okay to be kind and step back and choose a different way. So you can choose to be kind to them. There's a game. I like this game. When somebody cuts you off, make up a reason why they're in such a hurry. Like, oh my gosh, they must be hurrying because they're late for work, or they must be hurrying because somebody's in the hospital. And it may be true, and it doesn't matter if it's true. Whoops. The idea of the game is to change your mindset so that you are looking at those people with kindness and compassion. So accountability is recognizing you have a choice and then making that choice. One of the things that we like to do is blame. Blame, 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 blame. They did this to me. Wow, there are a lot of noisy vehicles on this road. That was a big noisy truck. Okay, so blaming. I have a concept in my head. I'm just figuring out how to word it properly. This one is where, this is something I see in my home. So-and-so didn't answer the question. Okay, so how to word this without causing problems. Okay, let's say I told my child to clean their room. Okay, so I'm like, hey, clean your room. And when I come back later, they didn't do anything. Or, not that they didn't do anything. They did something, but they didn't do what I expected. So I have a choice. I can be like, you didn't do what you were supposed to do, blah, 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 blah. Or I can take accountability and look at myself. Did I communicate what I wanted with my children? Did I tell them exactly what I wanted it to look like? Did I have them pick up specific things? Do they know what a clean room to my expectations looks like? And that's another way of being accountable, is saying, hey, I get to recognize where I lacked in communication. What did I communicate? Just telling them to clean their room? If there's no clear expectations, that's my problem. That's my fault. That's my accountability area. Now, if I've given them a clear instruction, I want you to make sure that you've picked up all of the dirty clothes off of the floor, and I come back and they haven't picked up dirty clothes off the floor, then I know that I've communicated that I want their clothes picked up. They didn't follow through. So one of the challenges with accountability is recognizing that we have areas that we need to stop and ask, did we communicate clearly? Did we somehow create this? One of the things that happened for me, I had a situation. I didn't turn a guy in for date raping me, and I probably could have and should have. Well, one, I didn't realize it was date rape until way later. But the other one was because I realized that I knew I was not supposed to be there. Yes, Lydia Tugger's watching, and she is the communication queen. She so she commented clear communication. Yes, okay. I'm making a video, sweetheart. So I recognized that I had a knowledge. Before I went to his house, I knew there was something inside of me that said, don't go there. It doesn't mean that what he did was right. It means that I didn't follow my prompting not to go, my feelings about not going. I knew that there was something not right about going to his house. And so that's something that I get to choose to be accountable for and recognize I had a fault in the matter too. Almost everything that happens, we have some fault. Now, there are definitely exceptions. Whoops. And yes, Lydia, clear communication. Where's your bottle? Do you want to put more water in it? Or just let it go? Okay. When they open the door, the bottle's going to fall out. That's awesome. Through it and it just fell. Okay, so Lydia was talking about clear communication, not everybody even knowing what clear communication is. I don't know, I've been thinking, every time I say the word fault, I've been thinking, I don't think that's quite the right word, but I do not think that contribution is contribution. There you go. I don't think that's the right word either. So it's just the area that I have responsibility for in it. I'm not responsible for everything that happened in that situation, but I am responsible and accountable for not following my promptings. So those are some things that I recognize. And I like to look for that stuff in my life. If something's happened and I don't like the situations, is there a thing that... Hello, the Mario gang. Yeah, not fault, though you're not guilty of anything. I am guilty of not following my prompting. I'm not guilty of what happened after that, but I am guilty of not following. So that's the thing, it's like you gotta be careful with that, because if I go into shame and for the whole situation, then that's a problem, and it's going to create a problem in my life, and that's not being accountable. That's being what's the word for that? And I've been there. I have thought that the whole thing was my fault, and the whole thing was not my fault. I've also know that other people would never even take any of that fault. They would totally blame the other person and not even take responsibility in what role they played in it. Every situation that happens in our lives, we have roles that we play. Even if we didn't do anything to create it, we still have roles we play in how we respond to it. And I think that's the real clear thing that I want to make clear, is that we make choices. We are accountable for how we respond. So I am responsible for not following my promptings. I am not ashamed of that. That's just something that happened, and I've forgiven myself. Sharing this situation only because it came up and it felt like something to explain what I was talking about. So accountability, it changes depending on the situation, but it really truly it's being responsible for the role that you played in it. It is not being responsible for their problems, and it is not putting everything on them, because blame is when you just point the fingers at somebody else and you refuse to look at yourself. So that's pretty much what I want to say. I hope it's coming out clear. Lydia, am I being clear? I don't feel like I'm being completely clear. And sometimes that happens. I feel like there's a disconnect between all of the billions of thoughts in my brain and putting them out through my mouth. So blame is when you don't take any responsibility. Shame is when you take all of the responsibility, even the responsibility that's not yours. And then accountability is where you recognize where you have a role in it and they have a role in it. And I'm so glad Lydia is here watching live. I love Lydia. We've been having conversations today all day long, so I'm excited that she was able to come on live. I am clear, thank you. Okay, I was waiting a little bit because I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of a lag, and I wanted to hear what Lydia has to say back. Okay, so thank you for watching. Thank you for, if you have any comments and understanding, questions, even if you don't agree with what I have to say, that's okay. I'd love to hear your comments and your questions, and thanks for being here live. And remember to let your soul shine big, bright, live, and beautiful. Be accountable for your part in every situation. Don't take on other people's stuff, and don't blame everybody. Be accountable. And that's what I have to share with you today. Remember to wake up and live and shine and be awesome, and I will see you guys tomorrow.